Okay, let's try this again, shall we? Let me see if I can get over here, move this around a little bit. Sorry, it's a little crazy. Okay. Okay, yeah, let's try this again, guys. I'm really sorry. Come on in. I'm gonna wait till you guys all filter in. I know we just had a little bit of an issue going on. Hang on, I gotta get my laptop over here too, so that I can help answer your questions. Hang on, guys. Yeah, I know. It's much better. Thanks, honey, because I'm actually on Periscope from my iPad. So, I guess that was a junk call, but hang on. I'm still here. Hi, I'm here. Hi, Chris. Sorry the other stream didn't work. I really wanted to see if I could go live on the different platforms. Meaning Periscope, which is Twitter, Facebook on my Facebook page, and then see if I could go live on YouTube all at the same time. Apparently that is a no-go, unfortunately. But you know what? That's okay. I'm just going to scooch y'all back here just a hair. I hope this doesn't fall off the back of my desk. Just to kind of give you guys that. Okay. So, experiment failed. Oh well. Worse things have happened. Okay. So, let's start over, guys. Welcome. Week 5 already. Week 5, Fireside Friday, guys. I talked a little bit about TNF, which is Thursday Night Football. Guys, all of this is about fantasy football. So, if you haven't seen any of my streams before, if you're new, this is all about fantasy football. My name is Lauren. I am a writer for the Fantasy Footballers. You guys can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube at Stepmom Lauren. Just a public service announcement. If you guys message me on Facebook like an hour before the game, or anytime in that hour before the game starts and it's on Facebook and I don't see it, find me on Twitter. I'm it's a lot easier for me to get quick responses on Twitter than it is Facebook. So if anyone asks me questions on Thursday and I did not get back to you in time for that, I'm sorry. Go ahead and find me on Twitter. It's a lot easier for me to be more responsive. Hi, John. Welcome back. Yeah, I had to start over and just do Periscope without trying to get all fancy. So, unfortunately, we're just going to stick with Periscope, but that's okay. I love Periscope. It's always been very reliable for me, but I wanted to stream on multiple platforms. So, let's see, Mikey, who should you cozy up to next week, Waller or Andrews? So, this week, Waller or Andrews. Both of them are good starts. I'm going to lean towards Waller. He's literally going to be the only person available in the offense against the Bears, which I know is terrible. But it's in London. Derek Carr is going to be under a lot of pressure from Khalil Mack, which could mean that he doesn't have a very good game. But, I don't know. They're both really good. Yeah, I know Chris said both. You know what? Let's just go to the trusty old, Fantasy Pros. Let's see what they have to say. And also, so again, guys, I'm a writer for the Fantasy Footballers. You can find all of my work at my website, which is stepmomlauren.com. I'm also a contributor to Fake Pigskin. I know, the revenge game for Khalil Mack, Mikey. I know, I'm excited. I'm in a league where we actually get to play one defensive player, and I picked up Khalil Mack, which was pretty awesome. And I had to turn off my Wi-Fi, so now I'm turning that back on my laptop. Yeah, hi, London, here we come. Black Pap Cousins or Mariota in a super flex. For this game, I am leaning Cousins. I like his matchup better. I think I would go with Cousins in a super flex, although don't be surprised if he gives you poop, but I don't like Mariota in this matchup. I don't really like him that much anyway, but that being said, I am starting A.J. Brown in a couple of matchups, so, hey, look at me talking out the side of my mouth. Hi, Angie. Mixon or Henry in the flex? I like Henry, mostly because I despise Joe Mixon as a person. And also, guys, don't forget to let me know if it's standard or PPR, just to make things a little bit easier. I'm just trying to get myself put together after that obnoxious attempt to try to go live on multiple platforms. So, standard, RB2, Gallman. Hold on, let me take a look at this. Or Juju and flex Miles Sanders. Switch any MVS or Damian or Darrell Williams. So you want to switch any of those for MVS or Damian or Darrell Williams. Darrell Williams is off the table. Damian Williams is a full go. LaShawn McCoy is a full go. So Darrell is off. He's going to be on your bench. I would keep in Wayne Gallman for sure. And you have Juju and Miles Sanders. I don't mind that as is. I think the MVS one is very interesting, but this could be another Geronimo Allison game. I think Juju should have a bounce back game this week. So yeah, I would stick with it as is. So, okay, then Angie, definitely Derrick Henry for me. Yeah. Cincy's offensive line is just terrible. So yeah, go Derrick Henry. I like that. And then John says Damian over Sanders. That's actually true. You know what, John? You are absolutely correct. Now that I think about it, you are right. I would actually put in Damian Williams. For some reason, I'm still in that mindset that Damian's hurt, but he's not. He's a full go. That's why I said to sit Daryl. So yeah, I think Damian is definitely startable. So yeah, what John said. And then Ricky, you said PPR, Josh Jacobs or Miles Sanders. Oh, I would go Miles Sanders here because Josh Jacobs is in London, playing against the Bears. I'm having a really hard time with Josh Jacobs this week because I have him in a league. I also have Devonta Freeman. So I'm trying to make the choice between Josh Jacobs and Devonta Freeman. I understand Devonta Freeman's matchup is better, but it is still Devonta Freeman. And for some reason, he's not playing well this year so far, which sucks. And Josh Jacobs is playing against the Bears, like I said before, which is a terrible matchup for him. But who else is going to be scoring touchdowns for the Raiders? I mean, Darren Waller, yeah. Hunter Renfrow. I mean, Tyrell Williams probably won't play. So someone else has to have some kind of volume. But at the same time, I think where the Bears are weakest is in their passing game, especially to pass-catching running backs. And unfortunately, that's Jalen Richard. And Gruden is not afraid to play Jalen Richard. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I would fade Josh Jacobs this week. And you guys can at me all you want if he does really well because he's going to be on my bench too. So there's not going to be anyone more angry about it than I will be as angry about it. So I would say stick with Sanders over Josh Jacobs. Although that stinks because I like Josh Jacobs a lot. So was there a question I was going to take a look at this? And oh yeah, Joe Mixon. That's right. So Joe Mixon or Derrick. We're just double checking this because we decided to go with Derrick Henry in a PPR over Joe Mixon. But let's just see what the real experts of fantasy football have to say. And they're still thinking about it. Go figure. My internet sucks. Isn't that great? We pay so much money for it too. It's great. So John, he wrote about Josh Jacobs being on the bench. Yeah, he did. And guys, if you haven't gotten a chance to follow John, John, go ahead and put your Twitter handle up there so that people can follow you. And he does excellent work breaking down running backs. So highly recommend. He's a great follow. Yeah, okay. So I put it in there and it didn't even decide to go. That's frustrating. That's okay though. Or Derrick Henry. Okay. So Western subs. If Daryl now on the KC bench, yep. Should I drop and then grab Tevin Coleman, who was dropped over the bye? Yes, I would recommend doing that. I like Tevin Coleman over Daryl Williams. Okay, so Angie, FF Angie, just so you know, they're saying Joe Mixon over Derrick Henry. I don't like that. So you go ahead and start what you want to do. A Fantasy Pro says Joe Mixon. Let me look at the percentage. 61% over Derrick Henry, who's at 39%. So no one's saying completely not start him, but I personally would prefer Derrick Henry over Joe Mixon. So that's totally up to you. FF Angie, you do you, and you go get him, girl. Okay, so let me just go ahead and go through these slides, guys. Week 5, Fireside Friday. At Stepmom Lauren, those are all my social media handles. Again, I'm a writer for the Fantasy Footballers. I'm also a contributor to Fake Pigskin. I write a Thursday night fantasy preview breakdown for them, which I talked about the Seahawks and the Rams, which is always an interesting matchup, which I do like to write about, and it was a really great game to watch. So you may be going up against like a point mountain that you have to try to overcome, which sucks. But let me see if I can get this TV to show you guys a little bit better. Oh, I'm too lazy. Forget it. Who cares? So what? Who cares? So what this is showing you guys, if you want to follow along with me here, these are the matchups this weekend of fantasy football teams, their defenses versus running backs. So these teams have allowed the most points in the NFL to opposing running backs. So let's see. Would you take Carson or Chubb? Ooh, that's tough. Can I have both? I really like that. Chris Carson in a PPR for me. He unfortunately had a lot of pressure from Aaron Darnold. Russell Wilson did, so they weren't able to connect on a lot of plays I think they could have, and they will in the future. I would take Chubb in a standard, but honestly, I like both. They're both stud muffins. But if you really had to pin me down and make sure I give you an answer, I think it would be Chubb. I like Chubb a lot. He's my boo. He doesn't have fumbling issues like Chris Carson has had. So, Jared Wyman, J Money, hold off a week on Landry or play him. I say play him. I actually was in a trade to get Landry, and a lot of people think I'm crazy. But I saw this in the beginning of the year. If anyone watched any of the Browns games, you noticed that Baker Mayfield really tried to force feed OBJ at the detriment to the team. And if you guys noticed in any of those previous weeks, Jarvis Landry was wide open. And I think that he finally calmed down, is going through his checkdowns, not trying to force it to OBJ, making smarter choices. And he's seeing Landry is open. And Landry is talented. He's very talented. And remember, he used to be a wide receiver 1. And I don't necessarily think this is going to become a situation where OBJ gets really mad because he's not getting 100% of the looks. They're like best friends. So if you noticed in the game where Landry just exploded, OBJ was really involved in blocking for him, which was really cool to see. So I do think OBJ will feast. I also think that Jarvis Landry is going to have some big involvement. So I like Jarvis Landry. I think you should be okay in playing him. A lot of people think you're chasing the points on this. So check your lineup and see who you are sitting to put Landry in, and then maybe make that decision. But I am playing Landry. I really don't have a choice. So there's that, but I have confidence in him if that helps. Let me see if I can go down here. Okay, Jim, any thumbs up. Perfect. So let's go through these defenses, guys. So there's some obvious ones that are on here that are saying to start, like Ezekiel Elliott. Well, duh, you're going to start Zeke. You know, that's a no-brainer. So these are the ones that maybe you guys have some question marks about. So, excuse me. Again, this is like the cold that never goes away. I'm just now starting to feel a little bit better, but I still have lingering symptoms. So if I sound like I'm hacking or I sound stuffed up, don't worry. I'm not contagious through the iPad. You're good. Hey, what's up, Anthony? 9504. This is about fantasy football, just so you know. If I get any pervy, weird questions, I will block you, just so you guys know. Nothing personal. I just don't do that kind of stuff. And this is all about fantasy football. Anywho. So the Steelers are ranked 27th against the running back. So they're not very good. I mean, if you guys have watched any Steelers games so far, you know that. What's up, Dan? How you doing? Welcome in. And then J Money, Ridley, Auden, Tate, and Marquise are my other starters besides Landry. Wow. Okay. Whew. You know what? I actually might fade Calvin Ridley. I am not liking that Falcons offense besides Julio Jones. And Auden Tate is very interesting. Auden Tate is very interesting. You know, J Money, shoot me your lineup at Stepmom Lauren on Twitter, and let me go ahead and look into that a little bit more and see if there are some nuggets that like come to my brain. Because off the top of my head, I would say play Landry, but Auden Tate, if you need upside, I think may be a better play, but I'm not 100% sold on that yet. I need to think about it. Sorry, I'm not just going to throw one right off the top of your head. Marquise Brown, he's the other one. Okay, yeah, send me your lineup. I'd like to look at it in totality and kind of put things into context. So shoot me over that at Stepmom Lauren on Twitter. And I want to see that. And if I have questions about it, another thing I'll do is I'll retweet it for you guys. There's a lot of people, in the community, in the fantasy football community, that love to help answer questions. So if it's something that I'm not really sold on, I'll retweet it. You guys can get a ton of different answers from different people, and then make your own decision, because that's really what it is. And I've got my favorite. I can't find it right now, but my fortune cookie that I rarely eat Chinese food, guys, like ever, which I know you really don't care about, but I'm going to tell you anyway, because guess what? That's just how it goes. It's my show, not yours. So I rarely eat Chinese food, and my fortune cookie, which I usually don't eat anyway, but for some reason I wanted a fortune cookie, even though it tastes like sugar-coated cardboard. But the fortune inside was ask advice, but make your own decisions. It was like the perfect thing for someone who analyzes fantasy football, for a half-side living to do. So I was like, I love that. I'm going to have to incorporate that into my daily chi. So, 8 new messages. My bad. Oh, hi, Mark Drumheller. Are you hiding in the conference room again? But thank you for joining. Hi, Noah. And J Money, you are welcome. Chris Mo, yeah, you're very curious about Auden Tate as well. Scooped him up on a lot of waivers. Very smart. I mean, with Mr. Glass, John Ross, broken again, which I'm sorry. Nobody ever wants to make fun, I make fun of injuries, but I shouldn't. I only say that because he's injury prone. I'm sorry. He has some great gains. Anyway, he's out. Obviously, AJ Green isn't there. And there's Tyler Boyd. And Tyler Boyd is not the best at creating separation when he gets the double coverage. So there's that. And they're playing a defense that can certainly allow for points to go to Auden Tate. So I do like that. All right. So Ridley's matchup is pretty tough. I understand. I get it. I get it, Black Poppy, but I don't know. If you have any better options or maybe some sleepers, maybe. But if you believe in Calvin Ridley, I'm not going to tell you to go against your gut. Always remember that, guys. In fantasy football, if your gut's telling you to make a play, play it. If it's wrong, who cares? It's fantasy football. Not a big deal. So, Mikey, your kids are sick. Everyone is sick. It's crazy. What's the best way to watch the game while changing diapers? I recommend taking your baby changing table and putting it directly in the living room and just, change diapers and do it that way so the game is right there. Or go ahead and have it on your phone ready to go, or like a tablet or an iPad, and just have it in like multiple places. That's what I would do if I were in your position, for sure. And then Mark, what's up? What's up, buddy? Everybody put out some good positive juju vibes for my buddy Mark Dremheller. He runs a podcast, Sports Outliers, but he just had like a giant tree the size of like Montana fall in his house. So everyone give him like mentally some good vibes that things start improving his home situation, which absolutely stinks. I mean, I saw the pictures. Like the actual root, like the tree root, was the size of him. It was crazy, absolutely crazy. So I hope everything's going okay with your house, Mark. What's up, Stoney? And then Dan, what do I think about Melvin Gordon or LaShawn McCoy? I am not 100% convinced that Melvin Gordon is going to get a whole ton of carries. I think this is going to be a 50-50 split with Austin Eckler, and then moving forward, it will be Melvin Gordon's game. So this week, I think Melvin Gordon and LaShawn McCoy are actually both in very similar situations. So it's going to depend on the matchup for that, but actually, since I have them up here, let me tell you. So 27th worst against running backs are the Broncos. So that's Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler. So you're really going to have to decide on who you feel or think is going to be getting the touchdowns in that situation, Dan. So if you think it's going to be Gordon or you think it's going to be Eckler, that's the situation that you're going to be planning for, I think. And then for LaShawn McCoy, I think it's going to be a similar situation. Who are they playing? Now, I don't have I always do this. I always start this and I don't have like my matchups right in front of me. Who do the Chiefs play? They play Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati's defense is friggin' terrible. So, I don't know. Maybe I'd go LaShawn McCoy there. But let's see what Senior Fantasy Pros think. Guys, I know this is so bad I'm using Fantasy Pros, even though my bosses or the fantasy footballers, they also have their start-sit tool. I am on an ancient laptop that cannot handle a complicated website, and it's not like their website is very complicated, but it does tend to slow down a little bit when it's on there. So Fantasy Pros is a little bit faster, but if you guys want even more start-sit information from Andy, Mike, and Jason, who are the fantasy footballers, go to their website and visit that. I do have that up here, so we can always double-check with that as well, but let's see what the situation is. So Melvin Gordon or LaShawn, and for everyone who drafted Gordon, this is like one of the better case scenarios you could have gotten. You didn't have to hang on to him until like week 6 or week 8. We're on week 5, and he's back. So, yeah. Okay, guys. So yeah, LaShawn McCoy seems to be the ticket. Let me see if the fantasy footballers. Fantasy. All right. I got it. One of these days. So, yeah, LaShawn McCoy for you, Dan. Fantasy Burner, what's up? How you doing? Welcome. I do think Herndon's startable next week if Sam is back. Tight end is killing me. Absolutely. I am 100% on board with Chris Herndon. If you guys remember last week, and same thing with Robbie Anderson. It's totally same situation with Robbie Anderson. Go get him now. I've actually had to hold on to him. I hate dropping him because I had shares of him in every single league that I owned. Robbie Anderson led the receptions last year with 50. Chris Herndon, tight end position for the Jets, was right beneath him at 39. And Sam Darnold is the key to those two. So it looks like Sam Darnold should be back next week. He's not playing this week, guys. He's officially ruled out. So, Mikey, your fortune cookie told you to drop Josh Allen. I don't trust him anymore. I think, he is definitely droppable. He's also streamable. So don't be afraid to stream him later on in the season. I don't have his matchups in front of me. But he is a streamable position. It does stink. He is droppable, especially if you need bench players for bye weeks that are coming up. So don't feel too bad about that. And then, okay, they're playing the Colts. Okay. Huh. Interesting. Now, I don't remember what I said, but you know what? That's what you guys are here for. You guys can tell me what I said and then be like, no, you're wrong. since he's playing Arizona. Thank you. See, this is why I have you guys. I don't have my schedule like right in front of me, and I can never remember who plays who right at the top of my head. If I could, that would be awesome because that means my brain is really amazing, which by Friday afternoon it ain't, guys. Sorry. So MVS is a good pickup since Adams is out. I do agree. I am not saying that he's not a good pickup or a good play. I always worry about the mouths in Jimmy Graham. Yes, he is a thing, and Geronimo Allison. So it could be an Allison game. It could be an MVS game. It could be both. I'm not sure. So that's my whole thing on it. Hang on, let me go back to the running backs. Yes, MVS is a good pickup. What up with Connor for Sunday? I'm not worried about Connor. He's fully healthy, so that's not a big deal. I think they're going to use him and Jalen Samuels creatively as a dual threat running back. Excuse me. Again, sorry about that, guys. Don't expect first round draft pick numbers like we all drafted him to be, unfortunately, but I think he's going to be okay. I'm not too worried about him. The health issues, sure, but this Sunday he should be okay. He's a full go to play. And then even with Luke Falk, Chris Moe, I'm assuming you talk about the Jets offenses. I wouldn't play Jets offensive weapons besides Le'Veon Bell until Sam Darnold comes back. He is that linchpin that makes those two players worth fantasy starts, if that helps. And then Chris Moe, Josh Allen, Week 7 against the Dolphins. There you go. Chris Moe nailed it. So Chris Molina makes a really good point. Josh Allen is playing the Dolphins Week 7. That's kind of a slam dunk. And then Tim, a guy dropped Jacobs and I got him. That's great. Just I wouldn't start him this week, but that is a great pickup for later on in the season. He may have had to, but this is why I always say on Wednesdays, after waivers have cleared, guys, go look and see who your league mates dropped. Because there could be some gems just waiting to happen for your team. Just waiting there, being like, pick me up, put me on your squad. So I love doing that. Our Colts are super banged up. Okay, thanks, John. I appreciate that. Darius Leonard is out. That's right. Yeah, I think Shady's going to be good, too. For some reason, I was thinking they played Cincinnati. For some reason, I was really confused. I'm not with... Yeah, they're both red. Maybe that was my thing. They're both red, and they have terrible defenses. No, they're not red. Since he's... You know what I meant. Arizona, Kansas City, both red. Both bad defenses. So, Tim, in PPR, you need 2. James Conner, Melvin Gordon, MVS, Aaron Jones, or LaShawn McCoy. Jeez, wow, you got a good team. I like that. So, in PPR, I would go... Wow, that's hard. I like LaShawn McCoy in PPR. And I also like Aaron Jones because Devontae Adams is out. If you would like to play MVS instead of Aaron Jones, you can do that too. With Jamal Adams banged up, I think Aaron Jones is going to be their only running back that they utilize out on the field. But Tim, hit me up with that question again. I want to think about that a little bit more. What do you guys think Tim should do in that? Did Connor practice? Yeah, Connor's a full go. He's been designated healthy, so he's a full go for Sunday. So that's all good. Whoops, let's get out of there. Okay, so guys, the like we were talking about before, the Broncos going up against the Chargers are ranked 27th. So I like Austin Eckler. I like Melvin Gordon. I like Austin Eckler just a hair more. The Ravens, surprisingly, are 26th worst against the running back position. So Connor and Jalen Samuels. I have no problem starting both. No problem at all. I love it. The Texans are ranked 25th. This is my problem because they're playing the Atlanta Falcons. I have Devonta Freeman, so I know he's been super duper frustrating, but Devonta Freeman is one of my guys that I have to play. So everybody hope I don't get too frustrated. So Mike, you said, is everyone following the narrative street too much on the squeaky wheel thing with Thielen? Is it a trap? The only reason why I think it's not a trap is because, excuse me, jeez, bleh, it's not like I'm dying over here. The only reason I think it's not a trap is just because of the matchup. So, and Thielen is talented. So, and he normally doesn't say anything unless he thinks there's an issue. So, I don't have a problem starting Thielen. I actually just traded Thielen away because I don't want to deal with the headache that it seems like the Vikings have become. So, if you have him, I would not mind starting him at all. I think that's a great option. So, go for it. So, John's not buying it until he sees it with all the Dalvin Cook. Yes, this has been so extreme run. They've got to work in a little bit of the pass. I mean, don't expect, like, wide receiver 1 numbers, I think, but I think he'd be all right if you start Thielen. And then, all right, 25th worst against running back guys is the Texans, like I just said. Sorry if I repeated myself there. Devonta Freeman, I know, it's going to be frustrating. Start him anyway. So 23rd worst are the Jets, and they're playing the Eagles. Now, I like Jordan Howard. I also like Miles Sanders. I think both of them have the opportunity to crush it. So if you've got Miles Sanders, I say go for it. The Jets are terrible, and they're not going to be ahead, so the Eagles are going to run the ball, and Doug Peterson likes to use both. So let's just hope that Miles Sanders has a little bit more confidence this week, especially going up against a team like the Jets. So Mikey, full PPR, Dorsett, James White, or Miles Sanders. I like just one. I like James White, and then Miles Sanders. No, shoot, Miles Sanders. I like Miles Sanders. What do you guys think? Let's see what these guys think. Whoo! James White, Miles Sanders. But thank you for bearing with me, everybody. I appreciate it. Okay, yeah, James White. That's what I would go for. Yeah, he's like a wide receiver. So, except with running back build. Yeah, that face is the face I've been making all week with that. Yeah, I know. And then, forget your previous question, you messed it up. J Money says Sanders. And then, John, go ahead from that efficiency standpoint. I'm going to go ahead up here and go with the matchups for the wide receivers. So, guys, 32nd worst in the Eagles are the 32nd worst against wide receivers, but we're talking about Luke Falk. Stay away from the Jets until Sam Darnold comes back. 31st worst against wide receivers are the Redskins, so that comes all the New England pass catchers if they're healthy. Not really loving Gordon as much. I do love Edelman, but that's why I like James White, because he's so involved in the passing game, even though he's a running back, but he's still heavily involved in the passing game. And then 30th ranked are the Jets, so this goes back to the Eagles. Guys, Deshaun Jackson is still not playing, which is very worrisome. So Alshon Jeffrey, I just don't know how much I trust Nelson Aguilar. If you have to play him, you have to play him. But understand it's a good matchup. But I think this could be a really good game for Alshon Jeffrey. So feel good if you've got Alshon Jeffrey. My neighbor keeps saying his name wrong, and now I just did, which is kind of funny. So 29th worst against wide receivers is the Giants. So that's why I think it's going to be a pretty good game for Adam Thielen in Minnesota. And 28th worst are the Buccaneers. So the Saints receivers. I mean, Michael Thomas, obviously. I don't know if I would go as deep as doing like Trey Quinn. No, not Trey Quinn. Excuse me. Tre'Quan Smith. I think that's his name. But Michael Thomas, you should feel good about starting him. So matchups worse against tight ends, guys. I got a sleeper in here, 2 sleepers in here for you that may be of interest in the tight end position if you're hurting this week. So 32nd worst are the Cardinals, guys. And the Cardinals, as I messed up before, are playing the Cincinnati Bengals. And guys, Tyler Eifert, if you need a tight end this week, you are going to want to pick up Tyler Eifert against the Cardinals. And not only are the Cardinals bad against tight end, they're like double worse than 31st, which is the Buccaneers. They're that bad. Like, their defense is like, what's a tight end? I've never heard of that before. And the tight ends usually score a ton of points. So I like Tyler Eifert. Also interesting, Andy Dalton is a quarterback sleeper if you guys are desperate. Or if you just need a streamer. I like Andy Dalton against the Cardinals too. If he messes this up, he needs to retire. That's like how bad it is if you do poorly against the Cardinals. So now 31st against the Buccaneers are the Saints. And guys, if you drafted Jared Cook at the tight end for the New Orleans Saints, I know you're really disappointed and you may have already dropped him. He's interesting to me, but I don't want to start him, if that helps. I don't like it. I don't think he and Teddy Bridgewater have the kind of connection like he and Drew Brees did. That worries me. I would not be surprised if he does well, but I am not comfortable enough starting Jared Cook or even having him on my team. So 30th are the Colts. So obviously this is going to be a Travis Kelce get-right game. Finally, I need this so badly. 29th worst are the Chiefs. So guys, if you haven't already, pick up Eric Ebron if he's gone and Jack Doyle is available. Feel good playing Jack Doyle. The Chiefs are terrible against the tight end position as well. I have Jack Doyle that I am actually starting in my Fantasy Footballers Riders League, so hopefully that works out because I'm in a huge deficit right now. I'm playing against the number 1. I'm not doing very good in that league, but that's okay. 28th worst are the Raiders. This was another sleeper besides Tyler Eifert that I like. Guys, Trey Burton, as Jason from the Fantasy Footballers calls him, Trey Boo Boo. He has been non-existent. I think this could be a game where he breaks out. So if you are super duper desperate in a deep league and Trey Burton is available, you can take a shot at Trey Burton. Weird things happen in London, so he could have a pretty good game. Plus the matchup is there for him Chase Daniel is not afraid to sling it to however many people that he can. I think he's going to be relying on short dinks and dunks, and I like Trey Burton's opportunity this Sunday. But again, guys, this is a swing in the park. It's a sleeper. This is not a guaranteed to produce. Just remember that when I say sleepers. So speaking of sleepers, here are some sleepers for you guys. They might be kind of hard to read, but like I said, Tyler Eifert, Trey Burton. Another deep sleeper at tight end is Dawson Knox for the Buffalo Bills. I like him. Andy Dalton as a QB sleeper, guys. But my favorite quarterback sleeper, if he has not already been gobbled up, that would surprise me, is Jacoby Brissett. I really like that one as well. Very juicy, and he is talented. He could get it done, and he's got a lot of offensive weapons. Okay, so now that I'm done with my weekly diatribe, let me go back to this so y'all can see where to find me. Let me see what I let me see what I missed here. And I'll stay on for another few minutes and see if I can help answer some questions. And Tim, please can Kelsey catch a touchdown? I 100% hear you. I'm right there with you, my friend. And then there are weeks that you miss Andrew Luck. We all do. I mean, just for regular football, not just fantasy football. We love Andrew Luck, and it's just really sad he's not in the league anymore. But okay, so if Josh Allen starts, would you play Allen or Winston? I will play Jameis Winston, actually, not Josh Allen. Let's see. And then Mike, you said just got Jacoby beef brisket this week to replace Josh Allen. Excellent pickup. I really, really like it. And no, I'm not standing up. I'm going to sit down. But if you want to read what my shirt said, it says fantasy football is my day job. So, yeah. Any more questions you guys have for me? And if I end this stream and I haven't gotten a chance to answer your fantasy football questions, you guys can hit me up on Twitter. This is usually the best place to find me is Twitter, at Stepmom Lauren. It's a lot easier for me to get back to you faster on that platform than any of the other ones. But you can also message me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/stepmomlauren. I do check those as well. So to hit me up with your questions if you have them. Follow me on those platforms, please, guys. I would love it. Also, find me on YouTube. This video will be going on YouTube if you guys want to rewatch it or have some of your friends watch it. So if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I want to see if we can get more people involved because this is what fantasy football is. It's not just one person telling you what to do. It's a community. We all help each other out. I don't have all the answers. Nobody has all the answers. And if I knew what was going to happen this weekend in fantasy football, like I usually say, I'd be living in a mansion in Belize. You know, I wouldn't be in here where I'm at. I would be filthy rich if I could predict the future. Fortunately, I can't. So fantasy football is educated guessing, guys. It's supposed to be super fun. Let's try to make it fun. So Chris Mel, Aaron Jones or James Conner, PPR. That's a good one. You always have such good questions. Because I like both of their... I like Aaron Jones better, actually, than Conner. Because I think that Jalen Samuel is going to be way more involved now because he has shown that he's reliable. So let's just see what these guys say. Just so I'm not giving you garbage advice. Yeah, I like Aaron Jones. His opportunity is right there. So, okay, so in a full PPR, interestingly enough, Fantasy Pros is going with James Conner over Aaron Jones, which is very surprising. Let's see what my bosses have to say about this. And we're going to go full PPR. So, guys, what I do, you guys can go to fantasyfootballers.com/who should I start with hyphens in between each word, or just Google fantasy footballers, who should I start, and it'll be the first one that pops up. So we're going to do James Conner, and we are going to do Aaron Jones. Okay, let's see who we have here. So the fantasy footballers also say James Conner over Aaron Jones. Interestingly enough, so I like Aaron Jones in this, but they all are pointing to James Conner. I think it's going to be because of the volume, but, I mean, I don't know. That's a tough one. That surprised me, I'm not going to lie. All right. Adams might not be factored into that ranking. They're usually pretty good. Adams might not. No, they're really good about updating them because they have a podcast every single day. So they update their rankings as new information comes in. So these are updated rankings as far as I know. So possibly. Yeah, so Chris Mo, this usually means very tough decisions. But, you know, this is why it's good to look up stats. Get everyone's opinion. And if you disagree with it, start your guy. This is your team, nobody else's. FF Mike, Ravens D isn't as stout as the stats say. They didn't face any run-centric teams. I totally agree because, look at here. 26th worst against running backs to the Ravens. So, you know, there's that. But, yeah. I thought there was something else I wanted to tell you guys. So, I don't know. If I think of it, I'll tweet it out. But yeah, guys, follow me on my social media platforms. As always, thank you so much for joining. It's so wonderful I get to see you all here. I'm really sorry about the mix-up earlier. I was trying to see if I could restream to multiple platforms. It did not work out very well, so thank you for being patient with me and rejoining back here on Periscope. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful weekend coming up. Stay safe, and good luck on your games. Remember, Twitter, StepMomLauren, Facebook.com/StepMomLauren. I'm going to try to help you as much as I can with your starts and sits, so good luck. Good luck. I hope you guys all win. I hope I win too, but I mostly want you guys to win. That's why I do this. It's fun. All right, you tweeted your lineup. Thanks, J Money. I will take a look at that and let you know because that was a really good question. Bye, guys. Have a good one.